Good evening. Welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Celtic have just beaten St Mirren. Celtic have just a wonder strike, an absolutely wonder strike in the 94th minute from Callum McGregor. The game was absolutely woeful. The game was terrible, absolutely terrible. But we managed to get the win, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters for Celtic. We got the win. Do you know, it doesn't matter. Really, does it? The performance was absolutely terrible. The performance in the first half, the pass backs, was terrible. Other results today: Dundee United 0, Falkirk 3, Hibernian 2, Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 1, Motherwell 3, Rangers 2, Livingston 0, St Mirren 0, Celtic 1. Aberdeen play Hearts tomorrow. What a bloody lucky game. You've got that was a wake-up call. That was definitely a wake-up call for Celtic. It was a wake-up call for the board that this team is nowhere near where it should be. It was a wake-up call to Martin O'Neill to think, do you know, are these players capable of winning a league? And I tell you one thing, I mean, Kalmak at the end, after scoring that goal and going up to the fans after the game, telling the fans that we need your support. Callum McGregor telling everyone that we need your support during the game. We need you singing for 90 minutes, backing the team. Singing "Sack the Board's not going to work. We need you backing us because you can push us over the line." I thought that was phenomenal for Callum McGregor, going up and shouting to the fans after the game. It shows what captains are made of. And it's a fantastic, you know, it shows the mark of the man. Sometimes you need your captain to just stand up, take control. And as ugly as that was, as ugly as it was, I think there was only one person that could win that game for us tonight. You didn't see a goal coming. You know, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Let's jump into the comment section and see what you lot think of that game. That was mental. It was more than mental. It was unbelievable. The fans were embarrassing. Green Brigade shocking, entitled Neds. I'm going to give everyone their view. You can get their view on the game. Dire Straits. Dire Straits. This is Celtic Football Club. Yep. You've got to say the football in the first half was terrible. The amount of the substitutions were bizarre at most. But when you look at the team and you look at the players that were on the bench, do you know, even Shin Yamada couldn't get off the bench. It was that bad that £11 million worth of Arne Engels was taken off for Colby Donovan, a fullback that's came through. A win's a win, just need to stagger on until January. I think that's I think that we need to just keep going, and we know we want Callum McGregor at the end of the game going up to the fans. We need you. Come on, we need you for the full 90 minutes. Begging the fans to just back the team. Do you know, get them over the line. The players need it, and especially at away games. I mean, never mind talking about what goes on at Celtic Park, and you know the away games were always the games, even under Ronnie Dyler, when things were going bad under Ronnie Dyler, the away fans kept on going, kept on singing. We're not doing that. We've never done that tonight. The fans weren't in full voice. You heard "Sack the Board" more than you heard the match them. Subs made no sense. I want the journalists to be asking Martin O'Neill about this post-match. It wasn't happening tonight. Just thank Kalmak. You've got to give Kalmak. He's got to be player of the match tonight after that. Just for the goal. There was no player really got pass back. I mean, Tony Ralston. The first half consisted of Ralston, Tierney, Scales, Trusty, back to the keeper. There was no consistency going forward. Nobody was trying to go forward. Whatever Martin O'Neill said to the players at half time turned the game around. He made some weird changes, but as you look at what the bench is, having to bring on Dane Murray, having to bring on young Colby Donovan, having to put on Luke McCowan on the winging rather than Balak Wisher. It's just bizarre. We never stopped. We never got started. It's not a case that we never stop. It is a case that we never got started. And Calmac, why aren't we taking shots way into the game? How Ingles stayed on too late is a joke. Bernardo's long overdue his time. Yep, same old same. Yeah, I think that what tonight has shown us that we are going to just stumble and stumble and stumble until we get a new manager. We're going to stumble to the next transfer window. If we are still within touching distance of Hearts come the transfer window, I tell you one thing. Donovan should start instead of Ralston. Yep. You watching Steve Clarke? You watching Steve Clarke, everybody? Don't say that. Don't say Steve Clarke coming in as manager in the summer. God. Cheers for making it entertaining, Baz. In the chat, there's been some laugh. Jesus. We need to unite. We are stronger together. We do. And I'll go back to it again. Callum McGregor's actions at the end of the game, wanting more for the fans, telling the fans. He should have come on at half time and done that. He should have said, right, I'm going out to speak to the fans. I think that the fans would appreciate more if the captain had went, Martin, I'm going to go and speak to the fans. We need their backing. And Martin O'Neill going in. Callum McGregor comes out, walks up to the fans and fucking shouts to them, we need you. We need you more than ever. You know, we need your backing more than ever at this moment. But he waited and he done it to the end of the game. And I think that I want Calmac back in the World Cup squad. He's plenty of. Nah, I don't want on. A lot of duns. A lot of. There was an unexpected rise in people subscribing to the channel. It's just jumped back down again. Obviously, a lot of them getting ready to ha. Buys everyone for the chat. The captain, fantastic. I was sweating tonight. Sweating? Jesus. Celtic could turn you to drink, big style. Too many players not having McGregor's attitude. We need more players who are willing to take the game. You've got to look at Dice and Maeda. First half, not willing to take on players. It was a bit more athletic. Second half, you can't take a huff when you get played out of position. Do you know, you're there. Callum McGregor now talking to the media. Well, they're not going to come through.
You just got to keep going. Obviously, the game at Celtic Park as well, you have to go till late on. So we spoke about that, might be a factor in the game.
And they knew it might go to the wire.
So hard, and I'm so glad that we got the reward that we wanted.
So glad that we got the reward.
As a real crucial piece. So I'm glad that we fought right to the end and got 3 points.
Go on yourself, Callum.
Did you know it was so late in the game?
You know the sort of time you get an eye on it, but it just breaks and
Just breaks.
touch and strike it.
Strike it. You done it.
That was a little bit free, so similar to the Rangers goal, but you have a nice strike and thankfully goes in.
Thankfully.
Your standard, some of the goals you've been
Yes.
I know I've made a habit of it the last couple of years, so long may it continue.
Yeah, long may it continue. Calmac scores crackers of goals.
in the manner you get it. Is that one of those ones you could look back on at the end of the season?
Yeah, there's so
Is this the moment? Now, I'm going to say this. You'll remember under Ange Postecoglou when Tony Ralston scores a winner late on. Was it Ross County? Ross County. It was either Ross County or Inverness. It was Ross County, wasn't it? Tony Ralston scored a winner late on that night. And is this the game? Is this the turning point where Callum McGregor scores a screamer well into stoppage time? Is this the game that's the turning point? Is this the one where we look back at the end of the season and say, do you know what, if it wasn't for Callum McGregor scoring that goal, we'd never win the league. It's a big get out of jail card, massive get out of jail card today. Because let's face it, we had dropped points as we stand just now. We are only 4 points behind Hearts. That puts a bit of pressure on Hearts tonight. You know, they've got to go out, they've got to win tomorrow to retain their gap back at the top of the table. But you see there, Hearts are on 12 points, Celtic are on 12 points. We're only 4 points in it. You know, it's not inconceivable now that when you look at it like that Celtic cannot overtake Hearts. As it stands tonight, we've both played 12 games each. You know, they're on 30 points, we're on 26. Hibernian on 21, Rangers are on 21, Falkirk are on 19. And then when we go along, you've got Motherwell on 18, Dundee United on 14, and Aberdeen on 11. Can Aberdeen get the result tomorrow? Can Aberdeen pull it out the bag and get a result tomorrow? If they do, fair play to them. Because it'll give Celtic that little bit of help that we need. Because let's face it, we do need a bit of help when it comes to players right now. Where is the chat gone? What's happened to that? Weird. Martin O'Neill. What would you do with Martin O'Neill? Anyway, tell me what you... Where is the we've lost everything. Preview. Come back at a preview. Publish. We seem to have a fault. And I can't get the chat back up. Anyway, let's jump back into... Why is it on that? Let's jump back into the chat on this bit. And we get the chat here. Sorry, I can't get the chat up on the screen for some reason. Preview. Back to live mode. Oh, it's still not. There's the chat there. There we go. Got it. Anyway. But they got to buy tickets to have the right. Ralston is an awful football player. Casper 5. Remember, there was no Green Brigade or that there tonight, so does it show that we need the Green Brigade to sing songs during games? Casper gets a 5, Ralston a 4, Scales 5, Trusty 4, Hattati 3, Engels 3, McGregor 6, Maeda 4, Rayton Kenny 4, Tenecti 4. I would say that for McGregor to get that goal, it wasn't the best performance. Maeda was lost 39 minutes before he realised he was on the pitch. 12 points. 12 points out of 12 in the league now since Martin O'Neill arrived. That's my heart. Get my heart rate back down. I think so. You can only give Kalmack a 6 because of his goal, honestly. I think Kalmack would get 9 for that goal all day long. Kaiser's in the house. We were right up the jam room of the slabbery farts bars at Edinburgh. Huns will crumble like rhubarb. Very waxing lyrically tonight, aren't we, Kaiser, for my friend? We're missing the Game Brigade to push on the boys, 100%. We're going to be missing them for a couple of games now, so we need the fans that go to games and go to away games need to stand up and be heard. Callum McGregor, we need you. Do you know, he's not doing that for no reason. How many of you play with the negative of your own fans ringing down and closing down league leaders in the cup final? Tell you one thing, still want Salo to start, says Paul. Yep, definitely. Even though it's holy fuck, Kalmack, absolute hero. That's massive. Yep. Hibs away next. Gulp. If do you know what? When you look at it, Kalmack, what a treasure. Yeah. Kalmack, that's the ground that Kalmack first played on for Celtic, was at St Mirren's ground, and it's the ground that he's scored tonight. What's happening, Baz? The Green Brigade full 90 minutes, forgotten. No, they weren't there, they're banned from the away games. We should never have 3 away games in a row. Well, it does that. The beer loosened your poetry vibes and cheeks tonight. Well, as long as it's not your arse cheeks, mate. What does Bernardo do to get a game? Yeah, what does Paulo Bernardo need to do? he needs to be better than Callum McGregor. And you've got to take Callum McGregor. Hats off to it, because that's... I mean, we spoke about Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney doing wonder strikes against the keeper for Scotland. And he did that. You need to talk about the fact that Callum McGregor has done this consistently. Yang is just awful. Martin O'Neill's now talking to the Sky. Overall, we didn't create enough, says Martin O'Neill. A draw seemed a fair enough result. Callum gets a wonder goal, says Martin O'Neill. St Mirren played the way they thought they would. Yep, kept us at bay, says Martin O'Neill. We've won. We can do much better. Martin O'Neill doesn't look happy at all. The use of the ball. Martin O'Neill says we had really poor use of the ball. When you have a chance, run with the ball. Run with the ball, Martin O'Neill says. Martin O'Neill says we've got a bit of confidence now. Gives us 3 points instead of 1. Seems that Martin O'Neill seems to think that there was a lack of confidence under the previous manager. Martin O'Neill says, I might be looking back from a fair distance at the end of the season. These are the games that you need to go and try and win. We can do much better, says Martin O'Neill. Unity at the end. Martin O'Neill says Martin O'Neill says there is a unity within the Celtic playing staff and the team. Unbelievable. Yeah, it does. It totally breaks up. The international breaks it's a nonsense. Thank goodness they're over and done with. Martin O'Neill says that a draw would have been a fair result. Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill says they need to make their mind up pretty quickly if he is not going to be on the plane on Wednesday. Martin O'Neill has just said on Sky, he said the board will need to make their mind up pretty quickly if he is not to be on the plane that flies to Feyenoord. Well, flies to Amsterdam. Don't think it flies into Feyenoord. That flies in on Wednesday. That was a good interview with Martin O'Neill. It's been an interesting night. Celtic were absolutely woeful. Martin O'Neill says we were terrible, but we're too slow. We didn't get the ball forward enough. When we had the ball, we had a fear of going forward. Martin O'Neill then went on to say that he gave the players a kick up the arse, and he told them that, look, just move the ball forward. That's what you're here to do at Celtic. Martin O'Neill said the winning goal didn't fit the standard of the game. It's very true. It didn't. The standard of the game was very poor, but up stepped the captain. And the captain decided, let's take a shot at goal. On that note, that's me done and dusted for the evening. I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Celtic part time, where we could talk about the game tonight. We could talk about the fact that Celtic don't have a manager and anything else that comes up to mind. On that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.